So Black Beast started out as a bit of a piss take. It was during that big storm that was coming from the east. It was called the Beast from the East. I was in my room just fucking about on the 335 singing I was actually singing All Along the Watchtower, and the chords from that I used just to make a stupid song called The Beast from the East. And while I was doing this, my daughter snuck in behind me. She was wearing like a pink blanket and started doing this weird Egyptian dance behind me. So I quickly grabbed my camera, filmed it, thinking I'll send this to Ian because it's funny. And the song Pink Beast from the East emerged. So I sent it to you. And obviously you got back and said, I thought it was just a joke. And you got back and went, yeah, there's definitely a song in there somewhere. And from that we just kept working on it, plugging on it, writing some serious lyrics for it. And it actually became, I know Winston Churchill called his mental health depression his black dog, and New Zeppelin had a song called Black Dog. So Beast rhymed with East, so we're Black Beast, but it was basically tackling a very, very tough and challenging time that I'd been through with my own personal mental health, and that's where Black Beast comes from.
Yeah, I remember getting it and thinking, this is a banger. And I thought it was someone else's song. I thought you were just like, you do that now and again. You'll play an AC/DC or a Guns N' Roses song or a Foo Fighters song or something like that. And I thought it was one of them. And I was like, oh yeah, who's that? So I know, it's just something I've made up. And I knew straight away, that's a banger. If that's ours, then we're on to something there. And then the context of the song, it's become great. And I had a good time on the bass on that one, actually. It's one of the more enjoyable ones to play on the bass. And it's one of the two songs where I thought I'd gone a little bit too far outside the boundaries of what the song should contain on the bass line. But yeah, you were just like, nah, go for it, do what you want. Yeah. And it fits, it works. And it's been in every single time we've played live. I think that song is one of the few that has made it into every single set we've ever done.
It always goes down well. And there's been the odd gig that we've played where maybe towards the end of the sound our hearing is sort of, it's been battered and where the sound is maybe gone a little bit, but when we play that one we always pull it back with that one, and the crowd always love it.
Yeah, it's the redeemer.
Yeah, 100%. So cut right into me. It was a song that I wanted to write for a very, very long time. It wasn't until I'd written the song, basically in your old house in Oldham, we'd come up with the rough melody for the verses and stuff. Then lockdown happened. I went back home and the chorus and the melody all came out, and it was only after the melodies and the structure of the song came out that I knew what it was about. And it was about a relationship I'd had with I don't want to mention names, an older lady when I was 15 or 16. Here's a bit of mental health stuff for you. So I used to bunk off school, go down to her house, smoke a bit of cannabis, maybe have sex, underage sex with me. And basically what happened was, it was all too much at a very young age, and that lady then decided to have sex with some of my friends, which I suppose is my first ever heartbreak. Yeah, I know, but what can you do? First ever heartbreak, and definitely made a massive impact. And people said to me at the time, because I was a songwriter at a time, very young age, you should write a song about this. And I just couldn't do it, I couldn't face it. And it was only at this time during lockdown, when everybody was sort of faced to sit and think about all the demons and everything going on in their heads, that the purpose of this song, it's basically the age-old song of unrequited love, heartbreak, and all that good stuff. All aspects of the human condition, as we always like to say. But yeah, Cut Right Into Me is basically looking back at a time when I was very young and I had the old heart broken. Yeah.
You had a better teenage years than me, I'm not going to lie. None of that was going on in my teenage years. I remember being at the absolute genesis of it, seeing you write the first chords and just going, oh yeah, that kind of works. And then I remember when you got away and you worked on it and you sent me the rough demo, I remember exactly where I was, and I was like, yeah, this is something special. And I think I had a hand in the second course because I said we should flip it around from the other person's perspective.
Yeah, you did.
And that I think kind of worked.
I didn't have lyrics for the second.
All right.
Verse.
There's a theme. I write a lot of your second. I do. But I remember hearing it, and from the genesis of them few chords to what you turned it into was mind blowing, mate. And I must have listened to it. I think you sent it me on Facebook Messenger. And I must have listened to it like 30 times in a row, and I was going, yeah, this is amazing. And that's the song. Do you remember being in the studio? Gary, the producer at Blueprint Studios, he went, he said, that's a single.
Yeah.
He said, that's a single. And I would totally honest, up until that point, I don't think we'd really picked it out as a...
Well, and my wife as well, and during lockdown, I did the demo, and I played it for her, or she'd walked in when I was sending it to you or something like that. And she went, that's a hit. And at one of our first gigs, that journalist, that rock journalist that appeared, he went, that's a top 10, top 20, top 10 song. And what Tom does with his haunting lead lines, it's really, really brought it out. Yeah, it's weird when a song decides to come out about a subject. Very strange.
Nah, excellent song, mate. Very well done.
I can't remember how they started this one.
Feel So Real, I think was very much along the same time as Just a Dream. It's almost like the flip side to Just a Dream, but it came out at the same time. And I think it was, I don't want to step on his toes, mate, but I think it was a little Barry.
Yeah.
And it was like, you feel so real to me.
Yeah.
Oh! Was this the one? What was meant of the talky verse? Or was
No,
that
I
just
think
a dream?
that was just a dream. I think
So it feels real.
this one had been fucking around with these.
You said to me, help me not giving away the songwriting things now, that you reversed the chords.
Yeah. Because
you reversed the chords.
Because I think I'd seen an interview with someone and said, for every song,
There's another song.
there's another song in
Brilliant.
it. And Just a Dream, where it's in a totally different key, but Just a Dream, the chord shapes, I basically flipped them and then played it in a different key, a different tuning actually. But yeah, it was, I think it was there's a video, I think, on a Sunday morning. I'm playing it in my man cave and I sent it to you, and I didn't have a chorus, and I just was singing do 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 do, and
You said from the very start, you went, it sounds like a and that stayed.
Because
quite rightly so.
Obviously it's about my good friend Brian, your sister.
Yes.
But we didn't want it to be a depressing, modelling song. We wanted to be a celebration of their lives.
Yeah,
basically.
It's a song that has come out, a joyful song that has come out of two awful situations.
Yeah.
And it's 100% the right thing to do. It's 100% the right thing to do, and it came out. And I remember you saying to me, you went, I can still remember the first demo you sent me. You went, it sounds like it should go like this, but almost like I'd call it a pop rock song. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah. And then the words, the very heartfelt words. But I think if you heard this song for the first time,
you just think it was a pop song.
Just a joyful, happy pop song. You don't realise it.
And that's the thing, when I'm looking out, you probably see it too, when we're looking out at the crowd and we're playing it, people are jumping up and down and they get into it, and they're singing do 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 do, If they knew what it was about, they'd be like...
I think structurally it's so good. I think it's one of our best songs because it drives so much, like what one bit goes from the next to the next to the next, and it's just it's a structurally really good song to play, and it's no messing about.
Yeah,
it's a proper pop song,
and that it's evolved as well.
It really has,
because
the intro.
Yeah, we now do a nice little chilled out intro into it, which is on our YouTube channel. You can find it from one of our rehearsals, and when you watch that rehearsal video, it's just a fucking great.
It's a very good. We that's been every single set as well.
Yeah,
that's been every time. 100%. That went on a little dip once upon a time. We kind of lost our way with that, and then we're back. It somehow it's found its way back, and now we are nailing that. We are nailing that as a song, a live song. Very good.
Yeah, beautiful. So To Be With You, this is probably the other song on the album that it changed so much that I don't think we really captured it, but it was a song that, it was an Americana kind of themed song that I'd come up with a riff and the melody vocal line. So I sent it to Ian, and we just been back and forth on emails about what we thought it made us sound like, and we both kind of agreed that we could see it as kind of like an American kind of Americana kind of themed song. But yeah, you very much come up with the lyrics. You thought it was very much a...
Well, and I actually had a song written which had basically the words that became the words for To Be With You, and then this was the hardest bass line I've ever had to come up with in my entire life. I didn't know how to write a walking bass line. Didn't know what a walking bass line is. I just had to Google it, and yeah, I did. But I worked it out, and I remember there's another song that we did this. I remember sending it to you, and I remember thinking, I've done too much. I've probably done too much on this. And you messaged me back, email back, I think, and you just went, nah, I love it.
Yeah.
And I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit because it's a nails bass line to play. It's really hard. You know, I'm getting better as time goes on. But I remember the first couple of gigs, I thought, I've really shot myself in the foot. To Be With You, I think I wanted it to be the first single, actually.
Yeah.
I did. And it's eventually become not being a
just
single.
An
album track, yeah. I remember thinking that this is what the world should see that we're about, because I think we're a good band. I know we're a good band. And then it's just turned into an album track. But yeah, what a tune! Absolutely brilliant song.
I could see it as one of those Netflix films here. They get these biker bars in America.
Without
that Americana thing.
It's got that vibe.
Yeah, I could see it doing that. But yeah, another great tune. So the next song is Prodigal Son. This was written about a friend of mine, an old friend. He's just been blessed with misfortune. He's had a really tumultuous life, got into drugs, lost a family member. But as a spectator looking in at the relationships in his life, I could see his mother and father trying to pull him back from the precipice and give him guidance and support him. So what I always say to you, Ian, is be very careful what you say around me, because
it's going to be a song.
Yeah, you'll end up in a song. But yeah, basically, so this guy had started off in a lovely Christian household. His father was an Anglican minister, and he had a lovely family around him, but just went down that rocky road of just went off and decided, right, I'm going to do this, that and the other, and basically never really 100% came back from it. I think he still suffers today. But the song itself, obviously it's my lead vocal, and also a friend of ours who did the female vocal, a friend of ours called Courtney Duncan. and that's meant to be the mother and the father just begging their son to come back to them, like the Bible story, prodigal son. But yeah, he basically gone down the dodgy path, and they're asking him to come back. The chords itself are very, very simple, aren't they?
They're very, very Oasis.
Yeah.
Oasis chords, and I've always said this. I think I'm a bigger Oasis fan than you are, but this is the most Oasis sounding song that I think we've got.
But we do that with a lot of songs, don't we? You wrote that. Well, I'll not get into the other songs, but some people would think.
Yeah, I'm not a massive punk guy, but I've written a couple of punk songs.
Yeah.
And this is the entirely the other way around. This is an indie anthem, I would say, and a song that I would kill to have written. I haven't, but at least I'm in a band with someone who has. So I did my best with my bass line on this, and as you always said, what do you say? I play the pentatonic lead guitars.
Yeah, you play the bass like Noel Gallagher plays the lead guitar.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You are a guitar player.
I was once upon a time bass player now, yeah.
And you also said once in a rehearsal about I'd complimented Tom on the solo. I think it was one of the first times I'd heard it, and you'd said, yeah, and you can also thank Noel Gallagher for that.
It's very true.
Our very first drummer, the guy that helped us sort of with the first few demos we had, he'd said to me, it was the first time, I'd never noticed it. He went, yeah, it's basically every Oasis song. I went, what? Is it?
It is.
And
actually.
he named Oasis songs. I went, well, I can't play any of those. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I played it in work to a guy, or it came on, somebody had it on their Spotify, and he went, is that Oasis? I went, oh right, okay. And we did. I wanted to try and put something over the top because I was a bit ashamed of that, and you went, no,
embrace it. Yeah. Do you know what people always said about Oasis? They said, oh, you just copied off the Beatles. And I saw an interview with Noel Gallagher, and he went, if it was that easy, everyone would do it. You know, if that song gets compared to Oasis, I'm happy with that. You should be.
If I could copy off the Beatles or the Stones, that would be millionaires.
Well, yeah, everyone would just do it. To get that sound and that songwriting thing, whatever it is, I think if you've got it, I think you should own it.
Yeah. And this is one of the ones on the album. It's like a little hidden track, but people, friends and family, and listeners that come back to us and say, that's a great tune.
It is a brilliant song.
Little hidden track.
I wish I were in the song.
just get rid of this, kill me. Just a dream.
Just a dream, yeah.
So this is the first time I think I fucking broke down and blubbered like a big girl in front of you, wasn't it?
I think it was actually, yeah. I think it was. Quite right, and so all with the content of this song.
So basically, a good friend of mine, more like a brother, that I'd kind of grown up with and gone through all the good, fun teenage stuff with, passed away in 2014 whilst I was in Afghan. Fortunately got back for his funeral and cremation and all the good stuff, but because I had been away and hadn't been close to him, and we'd just been like talking over Messenger and stuff whenever internet was working and bits and pieces, but he got cancer, so very, very quickly he went downhill and sadly passed away. But I kept having this dream that I was talking to him. This is what I was talking to you about, wasn't it? Where and that night I was like blubbing, and you were brilliant. You were just like, yeah, chill, it's cool. But I was just blubbing because I basically kept having this really, really visceral dream where he stood in front of me, and I was saying to everyone, "Can you not see him? Look, he's here." And I was just explaining to him. I was going, "Yeah, you know you're dead." And he was like, "Yeah." And basically, I took from that he was just a dream to me. That's all that was left. And the lyrics themselves obviously at the same time, if you're happy to talk about
Absolutely, yeah.
so obviously at the same time, or was it a year later you lost your sister?
2018.
Oh, so it was a while after?
It was a while after,
yeah. So obviously you were going through your obviously very raw emotion and grief, and we were both talking about what we were feeling and our emotions. So both those people, my best friend and your sister, are in that song, and the lyrics, if people actually take in the lyrics, once when I was broken, strong words soft were spoken. It's basically people trying to break that news to you that someone you love is no longer here, they're gone, and it's basically that journey, that fight to get through the grieving process, as they call it, and all those steps.
So this, I remember when you brought this song to us, and there was a different idea, weren't there? There was a talking element of it, and the idea was, I don't know, have you got any songs
like
in
middle eight?
Yeah, have you got any ideas in mind where they've just spoken with, like, mine is Elvis, I can't remember which Elvis song it is, but there's a spoken word in it, and I can't remember the name of it, and we was like, yeah, we're going to try this, and then we played around with this song so much, it went up and down different keys, it had 3 guitar solos
yeah.
at one
The
point,
structure was so...
yeah, the structure was all over the place, and we were just playing with it, and I remember when we recorded it, we demoed it in my bedroom, and you had about an hour before you had to get to the airport, and I was playing it on my Rickenbacker, which I don't have anymore. And we drank too much the night before.
My throat was raw, wasn't it?
I was sweating profusely, and I was trying to get this bass line down.
We go and get something to eat.
Yeah. And we knew we'd caught some magic, and we was like, get this down. And then do you remember what happened after? You changed the key, and then a couple of months later, do you remember what happened?
I can't remember.
We were recording it in my living room, and I unplugged the recorder.
Yes!
Oh, I'd done something.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we'd recorded a new version, the new key, because you changed the key every 5 minutes. And I was looking at you, and I went, something's happened. You thought I was joking.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, no, everything we've just spent like last 3 hours recording has gone.
Yeah.
And we had to re-record it again, and we re-recorded it again in about
better.
15 minutes, and it was better because it had that raw energy, and that kind of like bled into what we wanted to do in the studio.
Yeah, and it's so weird singing it live, because obviously I never met your sister, but it's weird that I sound all hippy dippy, but it's like you can feel the emotion of what we were going through at that time, and I had a pull on that live, 100%.
Yeah.
And actually on the album, and this is no use to anybody listening, I don't think we really captured it on the album.
No.
When we play that song live, that's the way it should be on the album.
I completely agree. And I don't want to slag the song off at all. I think it's a great song, but I completely agree with what you're saying. I think songs evolve, and that song evolved into something a little bit more even more magical after we recorded it. We recorded it 6 months after, we'd have caught that, but we didn't. And it's something else live. It's definitely a better song live. It's very, very enjoyable. We used to start the set with that quite often, didn't we? Yeah, we kind of moved it around a little bit, but that was a set up for quite a long time. Great song.
Yeah, just a dream.
The Light Inside of Me, acoustic, the only fully acoustic song on the album. My memories of writing this is there's a C and a C7 for the songwriters and guitarists out there, where a chord kind of like hangs over into the next chord, and there's that like hangover moment, and that is the only reason why I wrote this song. I wanted that in a song. I'd heard it somewhere else and I wanted to copy it basically, so I wrote an entire song trying to build onto that moment where I have this hangover moment, and it leads into the next part of the song. The words were they just came from. It's a love song. It's an entire love song. It's written about somebody, and I just felt that way about a certain person at that time. And I think to this day, well, I don't know actually. I think I might have written one better song this day, but I thought for the longest time this was the best song I'd ever written and the best song I would ever write. And I remember going to Cyprus to record the album, because we tried recording the album twice. The first time in Cyprus didn't really work out so well, and I flew over to Cyprus and I got out there and John had a nice little treat for me where he'd basically recorded quite a lot of the song, and you had some girls singing harmonies on it, and it sounded absolutely fantastic. And we kept the harmonies. Courtney came down to Blueprint Studios and she put the harmonies on it again. And it sounded fantastic. It's not something I'd have ever thought about. It's not something I'd have ever considered. I just wanted to keep it very, very basic in that song. And it, even with the harmonies on, it still has that basic sound about it, but it fills the song out really, really nicely.
I think what I was thinking whenever I heard that song, I heard a gospel song, and what was a little ooh thing going on in the background, and in Cyprus where I was stationed at the time, there was a lad that was helping me record all the sort of rough the demos to put the album together, and he got a couple of girls that were a couple of his students to do harmonies. One was Courtney, who actually ended up singing on the album, and there was another, I can't remember the other girl's name, a little Jane girl, but she had such sweet voices, and the harmonies that were coming up, but they weren't normal thirds or fifths or your normal stuff. It was just beautiful interwoven thing. And then when we finally recorded it in the studio and then put the album out, I think I phoned you one night from Manchester Airport on the way back from a rehearsal or a gig. My sister had just phoned me and said I'd sent her a CD, and she goes, "What's that song Light Inside of Me about? Is it about God?" And I said, when I heard it, I thought it was a gospel song. And she goes, "Well, every time I hear it, I feel closer to God." And I thought, well, if Ian, if that's the last thing Ian hears, that's a pretty good compliment about some songwriting.
Yeah,
beautiful song.
I'll take that all day. Thank you. So, Ballad of the One-Eyed Bastard. I was driving home, and remind me, was it pre-COVID? Was it just before COVID?
I think it was just pre-COVID. Yeah, it was.
You were staying at my...
I just had the knee up.
Yeah, you were staying at my house. I can't remember if you'd got there before me, but we were both driving 4 hours up the road to get to my house in Oldham. And on the drive there, I just had this thing, and I thought, is that something? I don't know. And I've lost a million songs in my life, so I was like, I need to keep this. And I had a few words inside my head. Drove straight back home. John was there, and I went, "What do you think of this?" And I picked up a guitar, and I didn't even have chords in mind. Obviously, it just popped into my head, and I played a G and an E minor. Is it an E minor?
Yeah,
it's an E minor, yeah. I played a G and an E minor, and that was it. The verse was set. Trying to hold on in the dead of the night, and I was like, "Oh, that works." And you literally took the guitar off me, and you was like, "Oh, let's try this." And the verse, the chorus.
I remember you playing me that. I don't know why, but it made me think of Roy Orbison. I Drove All Night. And I thought, this is like a dark underbelly version of I Drove All Night. And I just loved it. Trying to hold on in the dead of the night. It was like a dark mantra. And then we just flipped the chords, and I just thought of a serial killer. Trying to hold on in the dead of the night. Whatever words you were singing at the time. that obviously it wasn't finalised, and I was thinking the serial killer driving out with the rain on his windscreen, and the the voices in my mind. We just flipped the chords, and the chorus came out. Before we knew it, they were just like smashing it.
It was there.
It was there, and I remember playing it to the guys in rehearsal, and Tom, the lead guitarist, was like, he's got an unhealthy. He's got very strong avid interest in law enforcement.
No. That was the week after, because the day after we rehearsed, Tom had COVID. So it must have been
You're
COVID.
right.
So he wasn't there.
Yes.
But we played to the drummer.
Yes.
And he was going, what the... I remember the
That's
week after
right.
when we played it in front of Tom, and Tom was like, what on earth is that? Well, that was a week later. Yeah, and we were like, we don't know either. And we had to work out that ending.
Yeah.
Because there's a rundown at the ending, and it happens on some rundowns, on some...
Yeah, we worked that out.
Yeah, and it took a long time. I remember looking at you going, I know how this has got a rundown and how the end's got to go. But we were trying to work it out, because basically there's 4 different ways that the chorus ends on that song.
yeah.
And you've got to get them right. And we was working them out. And but I remember it was a week later when we rehearsed again. I remember Tom looking at us going...
And do you know what? I love the video for this one.
Yeah.
The old B movie reels, Frankenstein and Dracula and all that stuff. I think it's quite popular on YouTube, but it's our best,
most popular song, on Spotify. By a long way, yeah.
And when we play that live, we always close the gig with it.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, fucking.
We've ended every single gig we've ever done.
We can't change
with that. No, that's how we don't look back in anger.
Yeah. It's like Guns N' Roses open every show. It's so easy. We close every show with ballad.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm glad, because I said to you, I think I said, we should call it Voices. We shouldn't put a swear word in it. And you were like, no, fuck that.
I was adamant, weren't I?
Yeah.
I was absolutely adamant.
I'm actually glad.
You and Tom were like, you can't do it. I went, nope. Not having it. I'm not having it. And do you know what the funny thing is? We thought it was just an album track.
Yeah, it was Tom said it was a single.
It was Tom.
Yeah, fair play.
And he went, you know what? The very first gig we ever did, I can't remember what it's called. We did. Anyway, I don't think we played it then. I think that might be the only gig we've ever done.
Really? Which
one?
It
was in Ashton somewhere. It was the something Arms. I can't remember anyway.
Alright.
But we might have done, and we probably did. I'm probably talking absolute nonsense. But no, it was. It's in the set. It's set to go. But me and you thought it was an album track, and he went, no, that's a go at that.
Yeah.
And it turns out it is.
Yeah.
It's done very well on Spotify.
My lad loves that.
Brilliant.
Until I see you again, the same friend that I wrote Prodigal Son about, this song was written as basically to help them. They'd just lost their sister, and basically everything that they were just talking, relating and going through everything that happened, like the night that their sister had died. And the first lyrics are, dark days in the middle of my life, my father screams out in pain at night, was how the father reacted to the daughter's death, quite obviously, screaming out in pain. And I wrote it as to try and help them, help the person, I don't know. But it was just a very, very dark account of losing a family member or someone you love. I don't know if there's much more we can say. Song-wise, structurally, I think Tom's solo is probably one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I think he did an amazing job on it. Our very first drummer that helped us with sort of structure out the demos of the first few songs we had that made up the nucleus of the first album, Lucky 13. The second drummer pretty much stuck to it. Well, he pretty much copied the drums, didn't he?
Yeah, quite right. We saw great drums.
So the drums on the album are the second drummer, but they were pretty much written by the first drummer. But yeah, it was basically a song to help a friend.
I think this is the first song you'd ever sent me that has made it onto the album, and I think it might be,
it will be
the first song you ever sent me, actually.
Yeah, because Echoes didn't make it.
Oh, Echoes might have been. Yeah, Echoes might have been.
Echoes.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the line that "Your face, your voice, our childhood days." The hook on that line, I was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." There's something here, and it was the demo you sent me. It was a very different demo. It had no bass, obviously no bass, no drums, anything like that, and it sounded like a slightly different song. It might have been slightly faster as well. But I remember hearing it and going, oh yeah, you know, you can spot songwriting talent a mile off, and I just knew there was something there. And this was me and you in the very early days, never known each other in a songwriting capacity. We've known each other for years, but we've not known each other in a songwriting capacity. But when I heard that, I went, oh yeah, oh yeah. And this was a song for me, mate, that really set it off, and I thought, oh god. And I'll be honest, I never thought we'd end up in a band together, but I thought we'd just helping each other out, you know. I thought we'd just like, you know, bouncing ideas off each other. You was going to do your band, I was going to do my band. But I heard it and I went, yeah, talented guy.
And what's funny is, I know this isn't strictly related to this song, but it does tie in. You were doing the whole rock and roll thing with your band. I was going down the acoustic duo kind of folky thing, and we were still sending ideas to each other.
Yeah.
Mate, what do you think of this? I think that's great. Try this, try that, and we still do that today.
Yeah.
But that was one of these songs. It was me going, oh my god, I'm bearing my soul, mate. What do you think of this? And
what did you do when you sent me that song?
I turned my phone off and hid in the bath.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said, oh, I'm going to go in the bath and just.
I was like, this is. Yeah, I said, yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
I quickly went, oh
it's
shit!
Hard. Yeah.
Get rid of my phone!
It's hard, no, I loved it.
Throw it in the river.
I listened to it about 10 times in a row.
But what are we like now?
I don't care now.
Yeah, just like sing a song and you'll go, nah, shit, or whatever. Well, we never said that, but yeah, it was one of those ones where I was bearing my soul because. And we. My old friend and his family and his sister are mentioned in the credits of the album for that song, so I think it served its purpose. Hopefully it helped them.
Brilliant song. Brilliant.
Satellite.
2
chords and the truth.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Opener for however many gigs. A lot. Most gigs.
Yeah, most.
I think we changed it.
The last couple of gigs was
kind of Dream. But Satellite is pretty much. It's been our opener almost since the band started.
Yeah. So I was still out in Cyprus, sending you ideas, and vice versa. And I got up one morning, usual Monday morning or whatever it was, heavy-headed, been drinking too much at the weekend, and I had a Gibson Les Paul Junior custom shop, single cut, red, beside my seat, picked it up, played an E major chord and slid my hand all the way up past the 12th fret to the second position or second octave position, whatever you call it. And I went, that sounds good, and just started strumming. And then went to what would be the D position, and just kept fucking playing it, and the words "knees bent, arms wide open, knees bent, heart torn open" came out. I thought, fuck, this sounds good. Anyway, I had to go into work, and I was out on the road that day driving around, and I kept going around, coming up with different lyrics and stuff like that. And the first drummer, I fucking thrilled him out of his bed. It was on a Sunday morning. I says, right, we need to demo this for Ian. And we just went for hours and hours just demoing this song. And I sent it to you. What did you say it sounded like?
The Who.
The Who, yeah.
The Who. It sounds like a Who song that had never been written by The Who. All day. I even played it to my mum. And I went, who's this sound like? And my mum was like, oh, it's a bit Who, that's that. I was like, yeah, it is. It is. The version we've ended up with don't think sounds quite as Who-esque as the first version.
Yeah, it changed, didn't it?
But yeah, I've still got that somewhere. But it's changed, but it's evolved as songs should.
It's funny, when we played that gig for that promoter at Sure 5, and they filmed a couple of songs, and Chris from Sure 5 had PM'd me and said, "Fucking hell, mate, what is that first song that he's opened with?"
That's proper caught people's attention.
Yeah,
he went crazy on YouTube as well.
Yeah, he went, that is just fucking class. And we just caught it that night.
Yeah.
It's like catching magic in a ball, some of these songs.
So, Not My Day to Die. I genuinely wrote this thinking I wanted it to sound like a James Bond theme song, and if you look on YouTube you'll see we did make a James Bond video about this, but I sat and wrote this on an acoustic guitar, and I just knew that it was James Bond-esque. It's very simple, it's not got many chords, and I wrote this for a previous band actually, a band called Amplivox, and it was sung by the lead guitar player, not by the drummer, and he had a very different style of vocal delivery, and it worked for the song really, really well, and he had an absolute cracking lead guitar solo for it. So yeah, that was it. It was a bit of an angry song, and I think me and John was kind of chatting back and forward then. We was in completely different bands, weren't we?
I remember having this on my playlist.
Brilliant.
I remember getting in touch with you and going, "Please tell me you wrote that song."
Well, you said that when you wanted to. Yeah, I think when you wanted to, like, me and you to join forces and do a band, you was like, "Please tell me you wrote that one." I was like, "Thank God, yes, I did."
Because it was so fucking angry and gnarly, and obviously, to me, it meant something else. You wrote it about whatever you wrote it about, but to me, it meant something totally else that I won't go into. But it helped me through a very. You know, when people say, "Oh, that song helped me through a dark time," it fucking did. Because it was just an angry, gnarly song that really helped me go through a very, very dark personal time. But I fucking love that song. And the only thing I kind of added to it was like an offbeat ska rhythm that I'm playing on the rhythm guitar that I just naturally did. But yeah, it's just a badass, fucking cool song.
Can't remember, what was it called originally? It wasn't called.
Oh, it was called
Last Kiss Goodbye.
Last Kiss Goodbye.
So yeah, I wrote the song. It was called Last Kiss Goodbye, and I'll never forget the moment. Right, I said to you, I said, "I'm thinking of changing the name." When we decided we were going to do a band together.
It was weird.
Yeah, I went, I'm thinking of changing the name. Instead of Last Kiss Goodbye, it should be Not My Day to Die. And you instantly went, bang, you went, that was it. And from that moment on, we never ever called it Last Kiss Goodbye. That's why I was struggling to remember it though.
Yeah. And it's funny when the James Bond film came out.
Oh,
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Well,
We sent that in, didn't we?
I actually emailed it them, and he emailed me back to, "We think it sounds great, but we're going with Billie Eilish." So, cheers, Billy.
Nah, great.
So I'm fair play to him for emailing us back, you know. I was quite pleased with that.
They gave us permission to use the footage, didn't they?
Yeah, they absolutely did. Yeah, he's absolutely.
But that's another popular one on YouTube.
It's done very well. It's actually got the most dislikes on YouTube.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, because I think people clicked on it and thought it was an actual James Bond,
right.
like an advert for what they call the trailer or whatever.
Yeah.
And when they realise it isn't, it's a band they've never heard of, they click dislike.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Cheers, guys.
Well, fuck you. I dislike you.
Bad for My Soul. This is a song that I wrote on an acoustic guitar, because I write all my songs on an acoustic guitar, and I thought it would stay on acoustic guitar for some reason. I don't know why. It's gone 1,000 miles away from that. I wrote it in Portsmouth, in my little room down there, and I remember the first time I tried to play it with John. John was drunk beyond belief.
In Portsmouth?
No, in my house in Oldham. Yeah, you come to my house in Oldham, and I'd already written it. I'd never even mentioned it to you. And it got to about midnight or whatever, and you was absolutely blind drunk. And it was the night, it was the time when you set up all the amps in my living room. And my living room looked like Glastonbury.
I'm eating nachos, by the way, sorry.
Yeah. And you made it look. And it got to about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And I decided that's a good time to play a new song to you. And I was trying to play it to you on the bass. And you was getting it, and you was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then you tried playing the bass, and then I was playing the guitar. Yeah, I think we've got a couple of pictures of this somewhere. And you just absolutely smashed it. It's 12-bar blues, basically. Yeah, that didn't go anywhere. I have to replay it to you the next day. and this was one of the songs that we played to. In fact, there's a couple of little stories about this. So we played this. Tom Stratton, the guitar player, he was playing this when we walked in Burnett, and he was playing that riff.
I'd said to him, play a Chuck Berry riff.
Oh, Chuck Berry. I thought it sounded like rock and roll by Led Zeppelin. And I remember walking in that day and went, oh, you're playing Led Zeppelin? He was like, no, I'm playing one of your songs. And then this is one of the songs that got the attention of Tom Lowe. He liked this one, didn't he?
It's his favourite.
Yeah, he loves it. He's a big. And I think this had dropped out of the set list, but it's back.
It became really popular on Spotify.
It did actually. It did quite well on Spotify, and I think Tom. I don't know.
Which is weird because it's not a single.
No, it's not.
It's just straight up.
Yeah.
But this is one you were talking about in an earlier song we briefly touched on. I'm the punk guy.
Yes.
It's got the punkiest pistol-y kind
of
clap.
I'm not a punk guy, and this everyone's gone, oh, this is a punk song, and it's 12-bar blues. It's punk. It's as basic as it comes, but it's it's just got a simple message. It's just a punky song. You should write this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I
should have written Prodigal Son.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't. But yeah, there we go. It's bad for my soul. Hang on.
This always goes down really, really well live. Along with
it does actually.
Just before, usually before Ballad of the One-Eyed Bastard. This one is the fucking kick them in the face.
Yeah.
The last sense, the yin and yang of another song.
Light Inside of Me. Light Inside of Me. Yeah, the two sides of the same coin. Them songs.
Yeah.
100%.
The price. So, I mentioned my old friend earlier on. We're talking about Just a Dream. When I was in Afghan, I alluded to this. We were chatting over Messenger and stuff before you got really sick, and we planned. A few of us or a couple of us were going to go away to Donegal in the west of Ireland to just have a reunion, get together, a few beers and stuff. And none of us thought the cancer was going to kill him. We thought, yeah, it's just a bit of cancer, you'll get through this. And he'd sent a message back saying, yeah, little old man pubs, smell of the sea, smiles on our faces, and some other stuff about local Donegal ladies that I'm not going to mention. But I was like, yeah, fine. Then he went a bit quiet on Messenger and stuff. Then I found out, obviously, I got the message I got the word that he'd gone. But this song was about that. The opening, when it starts, we've got the seagulls. That's meant to sort of encapsulate where you are when you're listening to it on the west coast of Ireland, those rocky cliffs and the seagulls and the sea crashing in. But it was tied into what I was talking about on Just a Dream, where I met him in a dream and he didn't know me. He was just standing there, kind of shocked, looking round, obviously dead. And I was trying to explain to him, I don't know if you remember, but we were friends not long ago. And a few people have got in touch, a few old friends that some that knew him, some that didn't, have just said that it's their favourite song. They're moved by it, they're touched by it. There's not a dry eye in the house when they play it. And I got in touch with his daughter, who's now in Australia, just saying, look, this probably isn't your type of music, but if you're interested in it, this is a song about your dad, as is 2 other songs in the album. But yeah, it was very much a very personal song about the first chorus being me talking about him being gone, the second chorus carrying on with that journey, and the third chorus being very, very specifically about his daughter, making peace with him at his bedside. But yeah, when we got together, I thought this was just an acoustic-y kind of folky song that wasn't going to make it on the album, but I think you kind of pushed it.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved it from the start.
To get it on there. And then when we got together with the band, and the bit at the end where the whole band comes in, drums and the lead guitar, yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, we played it live. I think we played it live once, maybe.
Play it Legends, we definitely play it Legends, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we have only played it once. We might have played it at Stop Port, maybe.
It's a hard one to play live because no one wants to see a grown man
very soft
start blubbing.
Yeah,
but yeah, The Price, very, very personal song for me. Probably my mum's favourite song in the album, because she knew my old friend. But yeah, it was just a tribute to my good friend.